Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. We've got a packed show today. Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Undisputed live from Los Angeles. I'm Joy Taylor, here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning, guys.
Well, how you doing that camp?
You would celebrate that?
Yeah, I'm celebrating.
That?
You had so much to talk about. Where are they? Where are they, Joy? Where are the where the hen and
You
the
would
black and mouse?
You would celebrate
Yeah, I
what
celebrate
happened in the third quarter? That
What happened in the
just
third quarter?
Embarrassment.
No. See, I don't like to do installations. I like to do the totality. I can tell you what happened in the game.
Oh, wow. Boy, it was a blowout, wasn't it, Shannon? It was a cigar of a blowout.
Whoa, talk about.
Oh.
I just want to know.
Here, let me have one, too.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
You know, just so happen I got you one.
I'll put it in my nose.
Because you know it's over for your team on Tuesday, right? You know it's over for your team. But my team, Joy, LeBron. How Braun look like that?
Yeah, because those refs said, let there be Braun.
You need to stop.
Yeah.
You know what, Skip? I'm
we
done
got
with
to
you.
protect him.
I'm done with you.
We got to make sure he advances.
I'm done with you, Skip.
We're just starting, I think.
How was your speech at Vanderbilt?
Oh, it was great.
You tell him.
By the way, who is it? Somebody? She's not getting it.
Whoa, my daughter.
Your daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, she's out.
Whoa, I thought you were going to put some good words in for me.
They had 32,000 applicants for last year's freshman class, and 1,600 got in.
She's going no. She's great. She's going to be med school.
Oh, then she's definitely no way.
I know they ain't got 32,000 applicants for med school.
All right.
Well, let's get started, and let's start with the Cavs. They beat the Pacers last night, 104-100, to tie the series at 2 games apiece. LeBron led the way with 32 points and 13 rebounds, and Kyle Korver hit 2 clutch three-pointers late in the fourth. But there was a little bit of controversy as well. With under 10 seconds left, the Cavs were inbounding the ball with a 3-point lead. The pass came to Jeff Green, and he got tangled up with Lance Stevenson. One official called it a jump ball, but it eventually was ruled a foul on Lance. Green then hit the first free throw to put the game away. Afterwards, Stevenson and Green talked about that play. Let's take a listen.
It's real tough to keep your composure, but, I mean, you have to. End of the day, it's basketball. It's on the basketball court, and nobody's going to fight on the basketball court, honestly. But, those type of plays, you have to really, try to keep your head. I tried. I did. I was, smart in that situation, being a tight game. But you got to try to look past that. The key is to win. For us to win is big. And, if I would have reacted, that would have set us back definitely. So, I'm glad I kept my composure.
Try to get a jump ball, just try to get the ball back to us. But it was they called a foul. Nothing seriously happened. They played good today. They challenged us today, and they made some adjustments, and they played smart. They deserve to win today.
Shannon, did they get the call right?
Now he want to be all even keeled. Now he want to be mild-mannered. Yeah, trying to get the ball, trying to get the ball back for us. They called a foul. They played better. No, that's not what you said the other night. You was talking all big and bad. They would panic. Yeah. We get them down 3-1. We be in the driver's seat.
That is true.
Nah, you were never in the driver's seat. You know why the Pacers weren't in the driver's seat? Because we have something they don't.
Huh. Was it a foul, Joey?
Yeah, it was a foul.
I heard a whole different answer. I don't know
exactly it was a foul, and I'm glad we had a veteran official, old Kenny Mauer, who was under the basket, which you didn't see. I saw all along because I was on the bed, me and my boys. We were watching this game with no sound, of course, and then one of them barked, said, "Daddy, that's a foul." I said,
really?
Yeah, it was a foul.
Wow.
And he wasn't a veteran official. He gonna talk about jump ball. This is not the WWE, Skip Bayless. You don't get to wrap your arms around a guy's head, flip him down and talk about, oh yeah, it's a jump ball. He needs to stop with these shenanigans, Skip Bayless. And that should be beneath a player of Lance Stevenson. He's in the NBA, Skip. This is not a black top basketball. This is not some rec league. He's doing all these shenanigans, and you think it's funny. You think it's cute that he got a technical foul called on Braun. He followed Braun.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did. I know what you was thinking.
I mean, he just got it. He
No.
just did it. It wasn't cute. It was great.
He followed that man to his huddle. Now, see, if Braun would have put that two-piece extra crispy on him with no sides.
They would have thrown him out?
Well, yeah, that's what you want. But Braun's smarter than that. But he going to get him. I told Braun, once he get to 40,000 points, 10,000 rebound assists, I want you to swing on Lance Stevenson to cut some of this bull jive out.
Really?
Yeah. It was a foul. They got the call right. And finally, Cleveland did what they were supposed to do down the stretch, which was fight a very game team off in their building because they succumbed to the pressure on Friday. But LeBron James refused to lose in Ole Miss the fourth quarter because in the first half, he was colder than the sun rising with an overcoat on, Joey. He couldn't buy a basket. But guess what? When we needed him the most, he came up for us. And Jeff Green saw a couple of shots go in, so Jeff Green played good, too.
Really?
Yeah.
So, wait, does that mean LeBron does have help?
No.
Sounds like he does.
Well, I tell you what. How about this here?
I don't know. You never know from night to night. He has no help. He has
How about this here?
He has no help.
How about this? When our second-best player, which is Kevin Love, can average more than 12 points a game and shoot better than 36% from the floor, then you come talk to me. When LeBron can get a teammate to score at least 20 points in one of these games other than him, then talk to me.
Okay.
But until then, what we talking about?
I don't know.
Exactly.
So, are you finished?
I'm done.
So, is it now Church League basketball that we're talking about? You seem to call it Church League basketball.
This kind of basketball, Skip, they played this kind of basketball in the mid-'90s. They've done away with it. You know that, I know that. So don't be talking about, this is just playoff basketball. No, it's not.
You know, it was interesting what Ty Lue said after the game about Lance Stevenson. He didn't have a negative word to say about Lance. He said he's a throwback player. He reminds me of back when I played. When I first got in the league, guys were physical. That's interesting. You love that physicality, said Ty Lue of Lance Stevenson, and he brings that and toughness. Sometimes they're going to call it, sometimes they're not. That's an interesting take on a very dicey situation at the end of that game because, to me, again, I actually covered this game back in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s when it was real basketball.
I remember watching it.
This was a cut and dried jump ball. This was not a common foul. This was not a technical foul. Lance Stevenson reached around Jeff Green's head and got both hands on the basketball, and then the two of them fought to the floor over the basketball. There was some interaction on the floor. Jeff Green got frustrated. He pushed back a little bit. I don't care. I'm not calling any of that. And I found it highly enlightening that one Chris Webber, and you didn't have the sound up, obviously, but Chris Webber was analyzing the game, doing color commentary for TNT, and he immediately assumed that there was going to be a technical foul, as he said on the air, on Jeff Green. So did I.
For what?
For his little pushing down.
He tried to get how you get up. Let me ask you a question. If you fall on the ground, how you get up? You put your hands down, you get up. It just so happened that he was up under him, and he did some chest compression to get up off it.
So, Shannon, what always happens in the National Football League, the second guy always gets caught.
Exactly.
Isn't that right?
That's exactly.
So the second guy in this little fracas was Jeff Green because he got frustrated.
He's trying to get up, Skip.
Okay, and he's pushing and shoving. And I'm thinking, well, if they're going to overanalyze the situation and overreact to it, then Jeff Green is going to get a technical foul. And I'm waiting to see the camera cut to the Pacers free throw line because I'm looking for Oladipo to step up and shoot a technical free throw in that case.
Happen.
And Chris Webber was shocked when Kenny Mauer finally announces, no, Jeff Green got fouled because Kenny Mauer immediately threw up the fist for a foul. But the other referee, Pat Frere, again, not as decorated as Kenny Mauer, but he immediately signaled jump ball. So we did have disagreement. And then the guy they put on TNT from the league office, that guy.
Don't put that's his job.
Borgia.
Yeah, he explained to you.
He's a league man. He's just going to spin it to protect the referees. Okay, so I don't even know why we put him on, but that's fine.
You do know.
And Joe Borgia says, well, we had to look at it several times just to see if there was a hostile act involved.
Yes.
Hostility. Then he brought up headlock, as in Lance put a headlock on a headlock? He had both hands on the basketball, and he's trying to rip it away.
Look at that picture on it.
You know what that's called? That's called hard basketball.
No.
That's called end of game, let them play basketball.
No.
That's where you just say, way to go, guys. You're playing hard. And Ty Lue was actually impressed by how hard The opposing player was playing on Jeff Green.
But you were covering the league when I got into the league in the 90s, and it was physical brand of football. Yep. They don't allow you to play that way anymore. Yep. So I had to stop and change my way of thinking, and even when on television, I was like, yeah, back in my day, but this is not back in your day. Yep. This is not when Ty Lue came in the late 90s, early 2000s. They've done away with that brand of basketball because they saw what it was escalating to. They don't want that anymore, Skip. So Lance Stephenson put the guy in the headlock. Kenny Maurer, who was Johnny.
In a headlock? Did he grab him around the neck and hold on with both hands in a headlock?
Put him in a sleeper hold. But Kenny
Maurer, did he not have his hands on the basketball?
Kenny Maurer,
isn't that the object?
Kenny Maurer.
Wait a second. You're not trying to separate Jeff Green from his head. You're trying to separate the basketball from Jeff Green.
Because Kenny Maurer is so esteemed and thought of in such high regards, he was right where he was supposed to be, up under the basket. Yep. He immediately raised his fist like this is a foul. I don't really know because they just wanted to build a drama in it because we already know what was going to happen. Yeah, okay, it was over, and they were going back to Cleveland tied 2-2.
When Kenny Maurer raised his fist,
right on.
You know what he was doing?
What?
That was a reputation overreaction foul on Lance Stephenson. What did you just say about Lance a couple of minutes ago? Shenanigans.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks antics, shenanigans, roughhousing, what gray area, whatever you want to say.
It is.
That's Lance's reputation. So Kenny Maurer is going to overreact and raise his fist quickly.
He just got a common foul.
I got a foul. I know.
That's a common foul. He didn't tee him up.
Unfoul.
It was
there was no foul.
And then you saw the one with Victor Oladipo banked in the three-point shot. Here come Lance Stephenson, run dead into the back of Larry Nance Jr. and try to get a charge. Come on, Skip. It's time out for that.
But this was a crucial play at the end of the game, and I'm not saying it would have changed the game. I'm not saying the Pacers got robbed, but they did get robbed of the opportunity to have a jump ball down at their end of the floor, albeit Jeff Green is 6 feet 9 inches tall and Lance is 6'5".
And he wasn't going to win the jump ball.
Well, I don't think he would have either. But stranger things have happened. You've seen jump balls. Maybe Kenny Maurer throws it up and chokes a little bit and throws it a little to the left, and maybe Lance gets his hand on the ball first. Maybe Oladipo gets the tip and throws up another desperation prayer like he just had. Maybe they tie it and send it to overtime. I know it's a long shot, but you have to give them that shot. You know it, and I know it.
You had ample opportunity. It should have never come down to this. As cold as the Cavs were shooting. Like I said, at some point in time, Skip Bayless, LeBron James is going to have a teammate to give him 20 points in the ball game. Every other team that's played in the playoffs have had another guy give them at least 20 points in the game. When does LeBron get that? He's averaging 32, 12, and 7, and he's tied 2-2 in a series.
So I need you to explain something to me because this was another weird LeBron game for me. And again, I just sit back kind of in awe of what's happening. They were up 10 at half, am I right?
Yes.
And then in the third quarter, I don't know what happened. LeBron it was kind of like Alonzo would do as a rookie for the Lakers occasionally. LeBron just sort of disengaged. He takes 3 shots. He doesn't make any of them, and he mostly just facilitated around the perimeter.
Saving it.
And I'm thinking, what are you doing? And they lose the third quarter 28-20. This is do or die now for LeBron. Again, could they come back from 3-1 against this team? Sure they could. But would you like their odds? You probably wouldn't love their odds if they'd fallen down.
As long as I got that guy, I told you I don't fear anything, Skip. Right, so I'll go anywhere, anytime with LeBron James.
So what were you saying to your little boys, your dogs?
Yeah.
What were you telling them in the third quarter when all of a sudden Indiana wins the third quarter 28-20 and it's a 2-point game? What's going on?
Well, it's better than them losing like they did on Friday when they only scored 12 points.
That was pretty hard to believe.
But the little one was sleeping. He was snoring. Yeah. But the other one, I told him, I said, it's going to be okay. Yeah. I said, LeBron ain't bring us this far to leave us now.
Okay. Well, then I don't know where LeBron would have been without Kyle Korver. I don't know where he would have been.
Talk about.
Were those not the 2 biggest shots of the playoffs so far for the Cavaliers?
Why would he pass that ball to Kyle Korver? Now, you just told me last year he should have never passed that ball. Now, I can have it played back for you.
That was do or die.
Whoa. Let me finish. Yeah. Now, you in A Few Good Men, Caffey asked Nathan Jessup, played by Jack Nicholson, would you like the court to play back what your previous testimony? No, I know what I said. You said Kyle Korver could not make those shots in that moment. Now you're praising him.
That was the finals. That's do or die in the finals.
So
you're either going to sink or swim in the finals. You got one shot at it, and I think I want the best player on the planet guarded by Iguodala in the lane. I think I want him just to take it.
But okay, let me ask you a question. So is this not do or die? If Kyle Korver doesn't make those shots, are they going to be able to hold on? Because here come Indiana.
Wait, if I can just play back, what's the few good men line?
Yeah. You want your previous testimony?
Previous testimony? You just told me as long as I got that guy, you fear nothing.
Yeah.
So I guess it wasn't do or die. These are the Pacers. Those were the Golden State Warriors in the finals.
The Pacers.
Yeah.
The one that you say they play a slow, methodical pace. They do not fear them. They've beaten them 4 out of 5 times. You was over here, had your boom, boom. Every time I try to say something, you hit the tambourine, ding, or you just had it going the first game. Now, all of a sudden, you don't want to give Skip. See, I knew this was going to happen.
Yep.
This is what you're going to do, Skip Bayless. LeBron James is going to come up out of the East, and you're going to say the East is weak. That's what you would do. Now, when they beat them the first time.
Have you been checking out those Sixers?
I don't worry about the Sixers. I don't worry about the Sixers.
East is weak.
Joy need to worry about the Sixers.
There's a new beast in the East.
Joy needs to worry about the Sixers.
Well, she does.
We have something.
But ultimately, you do.
Skip. What? Tell me
which side of your mouth are you talking out of?
I just want to know what
he's got no help. It's LeBron versus Embiid and Ben Simmons.
I'll give you a prime example.
Yeah.
Look at the Pelicans. Anthony Davis goes for 41. Can you tell the people at home what Drew Holiday do? He had 40. Anthony Davis goes for 47.
47.
Drew has 41.
Yep.
Rondo has 17 assists.
Whew.
The night before.
Yeah.
Oh, Mirotic goes off. Anthony Davis has 28. The second game, Holiday has 31, and Anthony Davis has another.
And your point is?
My point is, as long as if your second best player is doing what he's supposed to do, Skip, this is a sweep. When is Kevin Love going to give me what he normally does in the regular season?
He tore a ligament in his left hand. You don't think it's bothering him some?
Hell, he ain't left-handed. He right-handed.
Oh, okay. Well,
so I don't. Whoa. I don't do excuses.
He did have 11 rebounds. That works.
I don't do excuses.
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay.
Because I'm in the results-based business.
Oh. Okay.
That's all I do. Results.
Huh. Okay.
And I got that guy right there, Skip, 6'9", 260, from Akron. I mean, a lot of times, Joe, sometimes when I'm walking, cause a lot of times when things going good, Joe, I see 4 sets of footprints. Me and Bron walking side by side. But then things start to go a little haywire.
Wait,
no!
Are you still stalking him?
No! And then when things start to go bad, I noticed there's only 2 sets of footprints. I'm like, well, hold on, bro, what's going on? He said, bro, I'm carrying you. I'm still here with you, but I'm carrying you now.
Really?
Yeah.
Picked you up.
Yeah. He carrying us home. Now what?
Do you know how lucky you were last night after LeBron, the technical was drawn by Lance Stevenson?
He followed him.
Tricked into it.
Skip, the man followed him to the bench. Now, you know that's highly inappropriate.
And LeBron lost it for a second. Given LeBron's stature in this game, he just lost it and he shoved him.
Yeah, he
did.
And
of course, Lance flopped. He's going to flop.
Yes.
But he got him. He got under his skin and he got in his psyche and he got a technical foul on LeBron James. He had like 13 in his whole playoff career.
Yeah.
Way to go. And at that point, Oladipo steps to the free throw line, 6:12 remaining in the game, and he makes the free throw. And guess who's ahead by 3 at that point?
Pacers.
Indiana was ahead by 3.
Good.
I was just like, well, this is going to be a battle to the wire. And guess what the Pacers proceeded to do? Over the next 6 minutes, they missed 9 of their next 10 shots. And Oladipo turned into because every time he touched the ball, something bad happened.
Whoa! I thought you liked him. He's better than George Paul.
Well, he did have 32 in game number 1 on 6 of 9 3-point shots.
That was so long ago.
And ever since, he's not been very good because he's now shooting 26% from 3 in the last 3 games. And in the fourth quarter, he was 2 for 8 last night. And that included that one desperation 3 at the end that almost made it back to a game.
And if Bogdanovich doesn't have the game of his life on Friday, they're down 3-1.
And he went 0 for 3 in the fourth quarter, and nobody could buy a basket. And LeBron got really lucky. Very fortunate that Kyle Korver hit the 2 bombs of the game. Did they not turn the whole game around?
That's what we call it fourth quarter.
Okay, so you got that going for you. But mostly the Pacers and their number 1 star, he turned into a number 2 or 3 star in the last couple of games, for sure. And last night he did. And you were very fortunate. They missed 9 of their next 10 shots. And it was ugly because
You make it seem like we went 10 for 10.
They degenerated into this parade of solo acts. They dribble, whoever dribbled the ball up the floor, it could be Collison, it could be Ola, it could be Lance.
Oh, now he Ola,
Yeah, Ola, But they're dribbling the ball up the floor, and whoever dribbled the ball, they would just try to go one-on-one and get a shot up. And the Cavs locked down a little better on defense. They're not very good.
Hold
up. Down a little better.
Just last week, hell, I thought you was Dizzy Gillespie. You was out here trumpeting Oladipo's calls. Now, all of a sudden, he Victor Ola, Oh, no.
Well, last night he was.
No, I'm not going to let you do that.
Well, I just react to what I see.
No.
I'm not a Pacers fan.
I don't want you to be a prisoner of the moment. Yeah. That's not what we do here, Skip.
Well, he did have a breakout year offensively. Every offensive category across the board, Oladipo broke out.
But what does his history say?
I don't know. He doesn't have any real playoff history.
No, what does his history say as a player? What does my guy history say? All-time great.
Yeah.
All-time great.
Well,
most people say he the GOAT.
Yeah. All I know is that your guy last night was embarrassing me playing defense. Your guy, do you realize what he did the whole night? He played a one-man zone standing beneath the basket. LeBron just goes and stands under the basket, the opposing team's basket, and he calls out defenses. Hey, go over there.
Yeah.
Get him.
Yeah.
Double him.
Quarterback of the D.
Move. LeBron's just standing under the basket. He's doing nothing.
He Ed Reed. Freelancing.
What are you doing? What are you doing? And he'll take one of the bigs who doesn't leave the lane so he can just kind of take it easy on defense. Do you realize this? Think about this. Just to put this in perspective, do you realize Michael Jordan at age 34, LeBron's 33 now, at age 34, Michael Jordan made first-team All-NBA defense. First-team defense. And LeBron finished 309th in individual defensive win shares. Are you kidding me?
Can you tell me the year Michael Jordan was responsible for scoring the ball, facilitating, rebounding the ball, and playing top-tier defense? Tell me the year in which he did that.
Name a year he played. Just name a year.
No, I can name
any year.
But
you can start with 84. Just start. Just name a year.
But Scotty,
90, 92, 96,
LeBron James is the only guy in NBA history to lead his team in scoring and assists for 15 straight years. Now, Michael Jordan has never done that. Now, maybe he played before they started keeping stats, because some stats, George, they didn't start keeping until the 70s, like block shots.
Yeah.
But so that's neither here nor there.
They do keep defensive stats now, and your team fell to 29th out of 30 NBA teams, led by LeBron James.
I know there are a lot of teams that finished higher, but where are they currently? They're at home watching.
James? When it comes to defense, he's LeNun James.
What about this right here? What you going to do about these 32, 12, and 7? What am I supposed to do about that, Skip? What am I supposed to do about that, Skip?
How did the Pacers get back in both games in Indiana? They're down 17 and down 16, and they got back. How did that happen? LeNun defense? I don't know.
You know what you're going to be saying?
Yeah.
I know what you're going to be saying on Thursday. On Friday. Yeah. How did they lose this series? They had LeBron James. Oh, it's weak. I know what you're going to say, but don't worry about it. I already got ammo saved up for you.
Hey, the beasts of the East are awaiting your guy.
Handle theirs. We got some little stuff with little minor details. Taking a little longer than we anticipated, but we'll fix it right on up.
Okay.
You didn't think it was going to take this long?
No. It was supposed to be over with when we go home on Wednesday.
Talking about the Sixers. Will Russell Westbrook back up his talk and shut down Ricky Rubio tonight? We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
Hey everyone, Joy Taylor here, and before the show moves along, I want to tell you about an exciting new show. It's called the Fox Sports Daily Brief, available only on Facebook Watch. We all know everyone is busy, but the Fox Sports Daily Brief takes the biggest stories in the world of sports and delivers them to you in one video on Facebook. It's all you need to know about sports from the biggest stars at Fox Sports. So log on to Facebook and search Fox Sports Daily Brief and look for new episodes weekday. Now back to the show.
No mercy.
Ricky Rubio had a career night in Saturday's win against the Thunder. He finished with a triple-double, including 26 points, and the Jazz won the game to take a 2-1 series lead. Russell Westbrook had a terrible night and then made a bold guarantee about Rubio heading into tonight's game. Let's take a listen.
He made some shots, too comfortable, but I'm going to shut that off next game, though. Guarantee that.
Shannon, did you like Russ's comments?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with his comments, but I'm sure Billy Donovan is saying, well, what the hell was that tonight? Because he just let Ricky, and truth be told, Ricky Rubio is out playing Russell Westbrook in this series. because he had 22 in game 2 in a win. And now, because Skip Bayless says if you don't get at least 20 points in a triple-double, it's not valid. So Ricky Rubio had 26. Now, Skip Bayless loved to talk about defensive rating because he just threw out LeBron James at 310. Russell Westbrook is 12th. And he just gave him a triple-double to Ricky Rubio. See, what gnaws at him when Steph Curry or James Harden or Kyrie, guys that Russell will say, those guys are on my level, they get their points, Russell just shakes it off. But Ricky Rubio, it's like how y'all mentioned his name with mine. Cooked him. Now,
Cooked him.
The things that make the great players in the NBA is that when they play their game, nobody can stop them, the other guy, from doing what they want to do. Now, you might try, but at what expense? Now, you know how Russell is, Skip. When he has something to prove, he'll go out and show it. But at what expense does he shut off Ricky Rubio that it harms his team from getting into their offense? Because here it is. In the fourth quarters, in the games they've lost, he got 2 points. Those are free throws. When is Playoff P going to show up again? You know that guy Skip, Playoff P?
I remember him.
Oh, yeah. I ain't seen Playoff P since game 1.
You mean George Paul?
No. He Playoff P. He said he wanted to be called Playoff P. That's what I'm going to call that man, Skip. I'm going to call it what he want me to call it. So I need to see Playoff P. But the fact of the matter is, Skip, I do not believe Russell can expend all of his energy trying to shut off Ricky Rubio and still be helpful to the OKC Thunder. That's not how it works. Normally a guy, they don't play each other. They don't put Steph Curry on Russ. They normally give that assignment to who? Klay Thompson. Right. Exactly. You can't have Steph trying to exert all that energy on one end and then try to give it to you on the other. That's why my guy play free safety now.
Yep.
He used to be one of them old linebackers come downhill like Ray Lewis.
Yep.
But now he in the back like Ed Reed.
Yep.
Picking off passes that try to come up under the basket, Skip Bayless. So Russ is embarrassed that Ricky Rubio cooked him. Now he got cooking. He made some shots. And you know what happens? The guy sees the ball go in the basket a few times, Skip. Whoop, said it last night in the Indiana game. Jeff Green made a 3-point shot, Skip. It didn't count, but he saw the ball go in. Then all of a sudden, Uncle Jeff started laying that thing up, trying to get it in.
Oh, now he's Uncle
Jeff. Yeah, that's my cousin. Hey, but anyway, Russell is embarrassed because Ricky Rubio has been outplaying him. And he got a triple-double on Russ's watch. And what makes it so bad is that Ricky Rubio has been great down the stretch, and Russell has been abysmal down the stretch. And this is why I have no confidence in them, Skip. This is why I don't think they can beat Golden State or Houston, because I don't know which the big three going to show up. Is it going to be the one that showed up in game 1? And even though they showed up, all three of them showed up in game 1, Skip, the game was still close. So what happens when they don't show up?
That's a very good question. By the way, before I answer Joy's question, truth be told, you have taken many shots at Ricky Rubio.
Yeah, I have.
You have?
Oh, Ricky Rubio.
That was a pretty good night for Ricky. And if you look back at his year, he had a breakout year offensively.
Yes.
And Utah had a breakout year just as a basketball team because down the stretch, they went 29-6 over their last 35. That was the second best record in the NBA to Houston's because Houston had an all-time year.
Yeah.
And I told you going in, love the Thunder. I picked the Thunder to win it all, but they had by far the worst first-round draw of all.
Portland says, Portland said, no, we have.
Make that case, but this team is serious business.
Yeah.
And I tweeted this a couple of times, going back maybe a month and then maybe 3 weeks ago, that I thought Utah could win the Eastern Conference. That's how well they were playing. I'm not sure with Embiid coming back with a vengeance the way he has. I'm not sure they could right now. But Utah is no joke. And all of a sudden, Utah has Oklahoma City up against it tonight. Oklahoma City is a 5.5-point underdog at Utah in a pretty crucial game 4. Could go down 3-1. Going home. And I got to tell you, as much as I love Russ's guts and his pride and his fight, I did not love him saying that because I'm going to remind you again what Quinn Snyder said all year about his team. He said, the strength of my team is my team.
Yes.
And that's been his mantra and their battle cry. We are a team.
Correct.
We are together. We are very close. We are united. And Russ's comment is going to ignite the rest of the team. Maybe not Rubio. Maybe it'll play well to put Rubio on more of a hot seat. Maybe he'll crumble under the pressure to try to live back up to his Game 3 performance. But not only did I not like what Russell said, I did not like the way he said it, because he basically compared Ricky Rubio's game to poop, right?
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to shut that off, right? That that stuff off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's going for the jugular,
Get
man.
him, Ricky.
Yeah, get him, Ricky. I mean, what's going to happen is Donovan Mitchell, he's a bad man now. He's got a lot of rust in him. He's got that thing, that attack mode in him. And he's going to say, oh, so you disrespected my man Ricky. Watch this. Rudy Gobert's going to say, you disrespected my man Ricky? Well, come on, Russ. Attack my rim that I guard. And I think it's going to be much harder on Russ. He basically called himself out, but he called out Rubio and he called out Utah. And do you know what's going to happen when Russ steps on that floor tonight in Salt Lake City? Do you know what's going to rain down on his head? Do you know how loud it's going to get? I've been there many times for big Michael Jordan playoff games, and it gets crazy in there, too. I know it gets crazy in Indianapolis, but it gets crazy. Like, what Russ is up against tonight is way higher degree of difficulty than what LeBron was up against last night against the Pacers. Utah's just better than the Pacers. So now Utah's got all the momentum.
Yeah, and Oklahoma City don't have a player the caliber of LeBron James.
That is true. That is true. Although Russ can approach it occasionally, but he doesn't approach it consistently. So all of a sudden, the big three for OKC, they better come to play tonight, and they better make some shots in the fourth quarter. I still love their chances. Maybe I should amend it to like their chances, but I think they will win tonight, and I'm going to stick by that. But you want to talk about degree of difficulty? You go poop on Ricky Rubio. This is going to be a battle royal.
Russ put a lot of responsibility on himself, but they need more than 2 rebounds out of Steven Adams, Skip.
I don't know.
The dude averages 9 rebounds a game.
Listen, and Gobert can be a monster.
Yeah, but Steven Adams is a monster also. He led the league in offensive rebounds. He's the only guy that had more offensive than defensive rebounds.
Yep. And if he hadn't fouled out with 2.5 minutes left in Game 2, I think they were going to win that game.
Yeah, I mean, but Skip, he got to give you more than 2 rebounds. I mean, he pulling a Tristan Thompson. I mean, in the ball games and giving you 2 rebounds, you got to have more than that. I mean, come on.
Yep.
Oh, Tristan had 1. My bad. I'm sorry. But he got a lot going on, Skip. But we ain't gonna talk about that. But I tell you what, you said your guy. Now, Russ. I mean, you talking about that? Now think about it. See, I tend to think that when a player is defensively rated, it's because he's on a good team, kind of like Kyrie. When they were starting out, the defense, they were awesome. They had like 3 guys in the top 5. And then all of a sudden it started, they weren't playing great team defense, and Kyrie started moonwalking out of there. You look at Russ' numbers, they got Steven Adams. They got a perimeter defender in Robertson before he got hurt. Now they got PG. So that makes their rating look a lot better. Yep. But when you look at the Cavaliers, they don't have anybody that can lock anybody down, or they don't play team swarm defense. Now, they did get after that in the fourth quarter, Skip. That last 4 minutes, Kevin Love, Kyle Korver, all those guys hitting the floor.
I agree.
I said, yeah. Now, see, I know y'all got that in you.
Yep.
I know y'all. I need y'all to hit the floor because I don't want Bron to get no knee burn. You know, he don't need to be on no floor.
Occasionally, the Cavs can give you about 2 minutes.
That's it. That's all we needed.
Yeah.
And Luke told him when he came to the sideline, said, "Guys, give me 2 minutes.
Yep.
All our defense, and we got this game." Because I know that 32. You see that bang shot he hit on Bogdanovich? He just looked over at Nate McMillan like, "What you want me to do about that? I can't do anything about that."
Yeah.
They doing all that. See,
what did he do in the third quarter again?
He took 1 point. Oh. He was cruising.
He's cruising?
He cruising.
How can you cruise in a game where you're losing?
Easy.
Huh?
Easy. Because he said I would turn it on in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, you see what happened, Skip? Bogdanovich. Oh, he did a great job on LeBron. He made it tough. The man shooting over 50%, averaging 32, 12, and 7. And Bogdanovich is doing a great job.
It was shameful that LeBron James got quote-unquote shut down by Bogdanovich with a 17-point halftime lead.
I mean,
really?
That's nothing new.
Really?
Because I saw LeBron James average 35, 13, and 9.
Really?
And Iguodala won the Finals MVP, averaging 16 points a night. But that's none of my business. But as long as I got that guy, I know you won't be sleeping well Wednesday.
Well, yeah, but that was Game 4 in the King's house. Remember that?
Whoa, Skip.
Iguodala was pushed into the starting lineup that night. Remember that? And all of a sudden, the whole series changed.
It changed.
I don't know what happened.
Actually, it changed in Game 3 because they won Game 3, and that's when Steve Kerr stumbled upon his death lineup, and it served him well. But you worry about Russ, worried about Ricky Rubio cooking him.
I'm worried about 5 out of 17 by Russell Westbrook. That just won't get it. He scored 14 points. He almost had a triple-double, but it did not matter.
Whoa. He almost had a quadruple-double. Tell him about them 8 turnovers. Because when LeBron James have that high turnover, you always mention that. You over there keep.
But Russ is not even in the same conversation.
Oh, that's not what you said.
James.
He averaged a triple-double. You tell me he averaged a triple-double. You said it was because of him that everybody, especially LeBron James, all of a sudden wanted to average a triple-double. Ricky Rubio, I guess, following his lead, too. He said, I tell you what, you might not get one, but I'm going to get one on you.
Well, quick story. The other day at the airport, Ernestine forgot her driver's license, which is no good. But, of course, the security director came over and said, I love your show because you picked the Thunder. So I'm sticking with the Thunder because he just said,
I'm calling. I'm calling Homeland Security. That's unacceptable. You are not supposed to.
She had her old New York license.
No, that ain't good enough. You're not supposed to be able to fly without valid identification.
I picked the Thunder, and I own it.
Well, they should have let you go. They should let Ernestine go through and you stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could have gave the speech.
Maybe she could have. She could have given a speech.
Yeah.
And they would have. You'd never heard the end of that one.
Next up, Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski have been absent from the Patriots' offseason workout programs, and Pro Football Talk reported that Brady and Gronk are both still upset over Bill Belichick's benching of Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl. Butler played 0 defensive snaps in that game, and Belichick still has not given an explanation for that decision. Skip, can you see Brady and Gronk still being upset about this?
I definitely can. I hope they are. I'm glad that Mike Florio wrote about this because not enough has been written. I know we're now, how many weeks after the Super Bowl? 2, what are we? I'm losing track of.
Well, first week of February, so here we are, almost the 3rd week of April, so we've been a long time.
And I still believe not enough has been written about it. I still believe that Bill Belichick continues to get a pass he did not deserve despite all his greatness. And you always make the point that many of these issues, money is the root. So contract could be playing some role in this.
I believe it is with Gronk, more so than Tom.
Probably, but it could be a little bit with a little bit with Tom and a lot with Gronk. I don't disagree with that. But when you have the greatest quarterback ever and the receiver that you call the most dominating in football, and I'm just going to put the receiver label on.
Yeah, he's the most dominating. Yeah, non-quarterback on the offensive side of the football.
Right.
Yes.
When you have those two guys, and they hang 33 on a very good Philly defense in the Super Bowl, and they have to go to the sideline and watch Nick Foles, the backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, hang 41 on the great Bill Belichick's defense while Malcolm Butler is standing with Brady and Gronk over on the sideline crying because he can't get in the game.
Right.
Well, that should stick in your craw. If you're a competitor, you should want an answer. And as Danny Amendola said the other day, when he got to Miami, now a Dolphin, he said, we still didn't get an explanation. I asked, but I never got one.
But my only thing is, Skip, I want to know who he asked. Did he ask Coach Belichick?
It came across that way, but I don't know that he did.
Yeah.
I don't know. But in this case, obviously, just to reiterate for those who just landed back from Mars, but Malcolm Butler played 98% of the snaps during the regular season.
Correct.
Malcolm Butler had no issues of note during the Super Bowl week. He was sick early and missed the team flight, but he got there the next day.
Correct.
And then all of the rumor and innuendo about missed curfew or misbehavior during the week was all knocked down. So he was healthy. He was, according to the New England media, very happy the last media session, which was on Thursday, and fully expected to obviously play on Sunday, especially in the second half when they went to their dime pack. They went to 6 DBs in the second half, and Malcolm Butler, their best corner, their best defensive back, didn't play a single snap in the Super Bowl. And then Malcolm Butler goes to Tennessee and got $61 million from Tennessee and 30 guaranteed.
So whatever the issues he might have had in New England, they didn't see those issues.
I don't think they saw any of those issues. So if I'm Tom Brady and I'm Gronkowski, and I'm talking with I'm going back and forth with Gronk. If I'm Brady during the offseason, I'm saying, what just happened? Why didn't he explain this? I think he owes the team at least an explanation, if not an apology. I think I don't know if Robert Kraft has held his feet to the fire on this, but this is the kind of thing that creates a mutiny. It creates a revolt in the locker room for the first time ever because Belichick has let it fester with his team, especially two incredibly prideful competitors, one with 5 Super Bowl rings and the other, what's he got, 2. And in the end, I just can't believe nothing more has been said about this because Bill obviously has his 5 Super Bowl rings. But how do you explain this? Because it doesn't come across as genius. It comes across to me as sabotage. Robert Kraft forced him to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. He gave away Jimmy Garoppolo basically for a high second-round pick to San Francisco. Jimmy Garoppolo got the most money ever paid to a quarterback at that point. And then the Super Bowl happened. And what? You don't play Malcolm Butler? Doesn't it feel like you're trying to somehow wreck Tom Brady's chances of winning a 6th ring? I know it's cutting off your own nose to spite your face, but are you sure he didn't revolt? That's how it comes across to me.
Skip, I agree with you. I believe that there's still some bitterness towards Coach Belichick of what transpired in the Super Bowl. And as a player, you concern yourself way, way more with the losses than you ever do with the wins. Skip, I won 3 Super Bowls, but I cannot get the thought and the taste out of my mouth of losing the divisional to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yep. I know we had a better football team.
Mark Brunell.
Yes, we didn't show it that day. But I know we had a better football team, Skip.
That was at home.
Yes, from start to finish.
What was the score? Do you remember?
30-28. We had over 400 yards. I don't think we turned the ball over, but just that day. But I know we were a better team. And the wins, I'm happy we won Super Bowls, but I still think about that loss. And
who was the coach?
Mike Shanahan was the coach.
Shanahan.
Yeah.
So did you hold anything against Shanahan that day?
I didn't ask him. I asked myself, why did TD only get 14 carries?
Okay.
He was our bell cow. Dude rushed for over 1,500 yards.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we throwing the ball. Now, hey, as a receiver, you like throwing the ball, but I like winning more than I do like catching passes. Now, if I can catch passes and we win, that's doubly good. But Skip, Seattle never got over that interception.
They didn't.
They never got over. There's a good chance they're probably not going to get over this because here's the thing. Players, we're results-based, Skip. And when Coach Belichick in Super Bowl 49 benched Kyle Arrington, if that doesn't work out, would they have questioned him? Because they got the results that they wanted. Brady's looking at, dude, our offense had over 600 yards. I threw for over 500 yards, scored 33 points, and we lost? Coach Belichick said, but yeah, you remember your first Super Bowl? You threw for 145 and a touchdown, and we won. Coach Belichick will never, ever explain himself to it. Now, he might in private, maybe he explains himself to Mr. Kraft, but he didn't explain why he released Lawyer Malone on that Tuesday before our Sunday game. He didn't explain why he traded Richard Seymour or Jamie Collins or why he released Willie McGinnis and some of those other guys. So, Skip, you know he's not going to give them an explanation as bad as they want one, and maybe they deserve it. But they look at it and they look at the results, because I can assure you, had they won this game and Malcolm Butler not played, nobody would have ever said a word. They would say, Coach Belichick is a genius. That is the genius. That's what makes him great, because he does things that nobody else would. Who would bench their starting corner? Well, Coach Belichick did, and it didn't work out in his favor. And they're finding up all – now, Skip, I don't think this is the underlying theme. You and I both know why Tom Brady's upset at Coach Belichick. We know that. This is added on to it.
Yep,
you know, you can have a layer cake, but once you get to like 2 layers, once you start getting 4, 5, and 6, you just adding on. You don't need that many layers of a cake. You know, you go to the restaurant, we got a 7-layer chocolate. You need 2. 2 is good. So anytime you get, that's excess. Coach, Tom Brady is upset about this Guerrero. Tom Brady is upset about he wanted Jimmy G, and he was willing to jettison me. After 5 Super Bowls, possibly 6 Super Bowl wins, he was ready to say bye-bye. So this is just adding on. Gronk wants more money. This is just adding on, because he was at this dirt bike, I think this dirt bike race, Skip, I think it was at Gillette Stadium, and they asked him, was he going to go to off-season conditioning? He's like, nah, I got to work on my dirt bike skills. Come on, Skip. I mean, Now, you know Coach Belichick is up there seething because his two most prominent players are bucking. So how do you get these other guys to stay on the straight and narrow if your two best players are going their separate ways? When all along, for the longest time, the reason why Coach Belichick had such control was because Tom Brady always walked the same line.
He did.
So if he walking that line, you better fall in step behind him. He's the best with all these MVPs, with all these Super Bowls. Now all of a sudden, Tom said, I get back when I get back. I'm riding a camel. I've been Cutter.
Yep.
Me and Giselle having us a good old time.
That is true.
Gronk said, I'm dirt biking.
Yep.
I see you when I see you. When it becomes with the M mandatory and not the V voluntary, I'll see you then. So basically, they're giving Coach Belichick right now that big old foam finger, Skip, and I don't think he upset. I think he upset.
When is Robert Kraft going to make it mandatory that Bill Belichick at least give his team behind closed doors some sort of explanation for why he didn't play Malcolm
He'll
Butler?
quit first.
You think so?
Coach Belichick will quit. He'll never explain. It's kind of like with a child. I never ratchet with my kids. Well, Daddy, why? Because I told you to. You don't. My grandfather used to say, boy, I ain't reasoning with a child. Coaches don't normally reason with players, especially ones with 5 Super Bowls. Do you actually think Coach Lombardi rationalized with the old pack, Skip? Tom Landry, a Chuck Noll.
You know what? I was just going to say, Tom Landry. He once told me a general can never show weakness to his troops, ever, ever. So this would show some weakness to the troops, even though the troops are starting to mutiny on the general.
Because for the longest time, wasn't he starting Roger Staubach and Craig Morton? He was rotating them like they were receivers.
Every other play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Coach
didn't work until he finally said, I better go with Roger.
Skip, I was with Dan Reeves in 1992, and we were rotating series with quarterbacks. Sean Moore would play a series, Tommy Maddox would play a series. And we did because John had gotten hurt. And that's the way I was like, I don't think this is how it's supposed to. I've only been in the league 3 years, but I don't really think this is how it's supposed to go in the NFL. Not quarterbacks. Maybe running backs you can alternate series, or wide receivers or defensive linemen. But I don't think you can. How does a quarterback get into a rhythm? Hey.
So I forgot you were on the 92 team?
I was on the 92 team.
When Dallas went in there in December, right before Christmas?
We almost beat them, Skip.
You did not.
Yeah, we did. They beat us by a touchdown.
Yeah.
But we had time. They went down and got us. They got
rolling.
Us.
They were on a Super Bowl roll.
They were rolling. Yeah, I'll play a fullback.
Yeah, I just remember John standing on the sideline with his long trench coat.
And we almost had them with 2 backups. Almost got the Super Bowl champs. But I knew, I said, I'm going to get y'all one day.
Really?
One day, the old big 3, y'all going to have to come back in here on Denver. Oh, we got them, 98.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that was when they were done.
No, they were done after we got hung 35 on them in the first half. TD had.
You were playing fullback that day in 92?
Yeah.
Fullback?
Fullback. Had a cowboy collar on and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Why were you doing that?
I had to get on the field. I had to play whatever they tell me to play. Sharp, get in there. Fullback?
You should
got to leave up on Ken Norton Jr.?
You should have mutinied.
No, no, I need that paycheck, Skip. I mean, I hit Ken Norton hard one time, and I'm like, man, you feel that? Like, man, my shoulder numb too. I like, good. Felt good about myself, Joy. I said, but I got to get up out of here.
You caught no passes that game?
I caught a couple shovel passes. Wasn't nothing major, Skip. Wasn't nothing major. But Tom needed to fall in line.
3 catches for 16 yards.
Yeah, most of them were shovel passes, too. Tom Brady needs to fall in line now, Skip. Now, I'm tired of him.
Fall in line?
Fall in line.
He'll quit before he falls.
I'm tired of him acting like a baby. Now, this happened 10 weeks ago. That ain't how we do things. We big boys. We move on.
I just think it's so ironic that Malcolm Butler caught the interception that broke up the Seahawks, and now he
didn't play that broke up.
The catalyst is going to break up the Patriots.
Look, the bottom line is all you need to know, he got $61 million from the Tennessee Titans.
Right.
Boom. Yeah. And everything they wanted to know about Malcolm Butler, Vrabel and the general manager came from the Patriots.
Yeah.
So everything they needed to know about Malcolm Butler, they could have found out.
And they still gave him that money.
So
why isn't anyone interested in Dez Bryant? We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
Dez Bryant posted this video of himself working out with Odell Beckham last week. Dez has already said he would like to stay in the NFC East after being released by the Cowboys. But NFL Network reports the Giants are not interested in Dez. Shannon, what do you make of this?
I'm not surprised. I think the Giants realize they have enough volatile personality in their locker room. They can ill afford to bring on another personality that can be deemed somewhat difficult to coach, difficult to work with in situations. But, Skip, Dez has to realize, Skip, if you're starving, you can't be picky about what you're going to eat. Skip, is a true story. I saw a guy, homeless guy. He had a sign that says, need money for food. So I went in the store, Skip. I bought him a chicken box. He said, I don't want no damn chicken box. Okay, don't worry about it. I took it with me. You said you wanted money for food, but that's not what he wanted the money for. I gave him what. You can't be choosy, Skip. Dez, you can't be choosy. You don't.
For drink.
Yeah, exactly. But with Dez's situation, Skip, you can't be choosy, or I want the Giants.
Yeah.
You better take, if Cleveland calls you, if whomever calls you, you and your agent better take that call and jump on a plane and go visit. Yeah. You're not in a position of power. You're in a position of weakness because, first of all, the first and second wave of free agency has passed.
Yep.
Now, we're 3 days away. On Thursday, they're going to have the NFL draft. It's hard for me to believe, Skip, he will get signed this week. Yeah. Because they'll fill out their board. Now, maybe if they don't get the wide receiver or wide receivers they want, maybe they give Dez a call. But Dez is in no position to say, I want to play for here or I want to play over there. You better play where they want you to play. Because right now, you don't have any friends, bro. No. You talking about, well, I want to play, I want them to be my friends. Nah, they don't want to play with you right now. So you better go play with the guys that want to play with you.
Remember when Jordy Nelson got cut by the Packers? It was pretty surprising, maybe shocking.
Yeah.
Remember what happened the same day? Story broke. Raiders interested, asking Jordy to fly to Oakland for a visit, which he did the next day.
And signed.
And he signed within 2 days, almost 3 it took. But he signed with the Raiders, who were hot to trot, man. Yeah. We want Jordy. Jordy Nelson is almost 4 years older than Dez Bryant is. But do I understand that? Yeah.
You said something interesting, though, Skip. You said when he got cut, news broke that Raiders were interested. Dez Bryant get cut. Dez is interested. You see the difference?
Yeah.
The teams are interested in one.
I want to go to the Giants.
That's not how it's supposed to work.
So news broke, I believe it was last Friday, that Brandon Marshall failed his physical, and he's cut by the New York Football Giants. There's a big old gaping hole in their receiver core for a big, strong possession-type receiver.
Yep.
And they are reportedly not interested in Dez Bryant. What would that tell you? Interesting.
I guess he won't be going there, huh?
So back to a point you have made repeatedly over the last couple of months on this show. Jerry Jones did not do Dez any favors chronologically through the offseason because he could have just let him go a long time ago and let him go into the heart and the hype of free agency, right? When people are overreacting, they're a little desperate with their money.
Yes.
Would it have helped? Don't know. Maybe.
Right.
But that's the same Jerry who could not let go of Dez Bryant that he coddled and he spoiled and he deluded often into thinking, it's okay, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay, right? And that was the mentality that Dez has taken into the real world.
Right.
I'm Dez Bryant. Jerry always told me I was the greatest thing to come along. You know, like I'm sure Jerry at some point said, you know, you could be better than Michael Irvin was. I'm sure he told him that because he loved Dez.
Yes.
And Dez got deluded into thinking, I'm that guy. I'm 2014 Dez. When you know and I know, body started to break down.
Yeah.
Didn't work hard enough on creating a bigger route tree, learning how to actually play the position.
Correct.
Where you can play it with your head as well as your physical talent.
Right.
Nope, didn't have any of that. So all of a sudden, he's on the hottest seat he's ever been on because if somebody does sign him, it's going to be a make-good kind of a deal where you're going to have to go to camp.
It's a make-it deal. Yeah. You got to show us that, it's not going to be no deal. We're going to give you just $8 million.
Nope.
No, they're going to give you a deal, and then it's going to be incentive-laden because they want you to prove it. I believe moving forward, Skip, he's on what they call prove-it deals. We'll have you, but you're going to prove that you can play here.
Yeah.
Those days of because they look at what Dez was. Dez was in that system for his entire career. So he had to learn no new terminology.
Yep.
What happens? He goes somewhere and he doesn't get to hear that terminology. Now what? And see, Dez is finding out the hard way.
Yep.
He allowed people to convince him, Dez, you're still Dez. and Dez believes that he's still Dez. Can Dez play? Sure, I believe Dez can play. Do I think he's a number one? I don't believe he's close to that. And unfortunately, no one around him says, Dez, okay, I know where you might want to go, but at this time, there's not an opening there. Skip, I might want to work at a different place. I might want to work at Apple or Google. But if they ain't hiring, what I'm supposed to do? Just sit right here and these bills still occurring. They still coming in.
Yep.
So, Dez, what you going to do? Now, you going to sit back there and talk about I want to get back at the Cowboys. I want to stay in the NFC East.
Yep.
Well, what if those teams in the NFC East don't want Dez Bryant? Then what? What's plan B? What's plan C?
Or D, or E, or F. I think whatever plan it is, in July, Dez is going to have to go someplace foreign to him, and he's going to have to prove to a new coaching staff who's going to be skeptical of him that he can stay healthy, that he can figure out and comprehend a whole new offense.
Correct.
And that he will not crumble under the pressure to catch the football, because he did lead the league in drops. And now that his career is starting to teeter a little bit, can you rise and shine and catch the ball naturally and cleanly every time? Because the pressure is going to mount.
Yeah.
Right?
And Skip, I have a big problem with the way Dallas did this. Skip, if you're not going to even offer him a chance to take a pay cut, you could have done this in February instead of April.
Yeah.
I said they're boxing him in, Skip, because the free agency is going to be over and they're going to say, okay, Dez, play for this or we got to let you go. But Dez is saying they didn't say play for this or else. They said else. So they didn't even give him an opportunity 8 weeks, 9 weeks after the fact when Stephen Jones said, we're going to have this conversation sooner than later. That's my only problem. I have no problem.
I still think Jerry was deluding himself. It's all going to be okay.
And think he could,
it's going to go
make
away.
It work.
And finally, Stephen and probably a host of other coaches finally got through to Jerry and said, it's just bad business. You know, you're going to stunt the growth of your young quarterback if you throw this back into the huddle time and time again. So I remember what happened to Terrell Owens. Remember when Pete Carroll wanted him up in Seattle? This was his last stop.
Right.
And he went up there in the preseason. He made some big catches, and he dropped some balls.
Yes.
And I was pretty surprised because I thought he'd done well enough to at least make the team. And they got to, I'm not sure it was the last cut. I think it was second to last cut.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll just said, sorry, we love you, but can't use you.
Right.
Wow. And that was, I'm pretty sure that was the end of the line
That
for
was
Terrell.
it. Because if you think about it, Skip, there's a good chance the Cowboys probably going to go wide receiver in the first round.
I think so.
And if you go wide receiver in the first round and you want him to be that guy, you want him to be a Michael Irvin, you want him to be what Dez was originally, a number one. How can he be that if he's on that roster?
I don't know.
Because eventually, remember when Atlanta took Julio Jones? They had Roddy White.
They did.
Roddy didn't cause any problem, but then all of a sudden Julio started catching the balls, and Roddy like, well, you know, I want to participate. They said, you know what, we're going to let you participate. You can go participate with someone else.
That is true.
And that's what happens.
Yep.
So in order for Dak to be, they realize, Skip, in order for Dak to be who he needs to be, you can't have that dominating of a voice in his ear constantly, especially when he's not getting the ball. That's not good.
Dez was on a different wavelength with Tony Romo, and Dak is not Tony Romo.
Right.
So.
Not Tony Romo. And by the way, I'm not sure it's a great look to post video of working out with Odell after all that Odell's been through in this offseason. Remember, Johnny Manziel often works out with Odell.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that other coaches say,
yeah,
that's a reason
it's
to bring in
very
Dez.
it's very petty too. I mean, he's still
It is.
harping on the Cowboys. So,
But I see Odell posting videos of him running the route tree. I see Odell posting videos of him running the ladder. I mean, them battling ropes, that's fine and good. Yeah, that cut your arms up, you get you in shape, but I want to see some routes. Let me see you run that 10, run that speed out. Let me see if you can hit 10 and roll to 12.
we'll see.
No mercy.
Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski have been absent from the Patriots' offseason workout programs, and Pro Football Talk reported that Brady and Gronk are both still upset over Bill Belichick's benching of Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl. Butler played 0 defensive snaps in that game, and Belichick still has not given an explanation for that decision. We're joined now by Pro Bowl cornerback D'Angelo Hall. Welcome back to Undisputed.
Good morning.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
D'Angelo, do you believe that Brady and Gronk are still upset over this Malcolm Butler situation?
You know, to say they're upset's probably a little bit of an understatement.
Good.
These guys are probably pissed off. You know, when you've done the things that Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski have done for this organization, and you don't feel like you're given the best opportunity to win. Mm-hmm. As competitors, that's all you want is the best opportunity to win. I want my best guys out there on my team, and I want to go against the best. Yep. And I think if Malcolm Butler is out there playing in that game, they win. Without a doubt, they win. Just the plays that was given up in the passing game. He's a great player, and I've never heard ill word spoken against him at all. And so that's what makes this so puzzling, is because Belichick's not the kind of guy who's gonna let you know what was on his mind, the reason why he did X, Y, Z. Yep. He'll take it to his grave. And so I know those two guys who are leaders of that football team definitely want to know what happened and why, because they're looking like we just missed a great opportunity of yet another ring. You know, everybody says they can get back, which they probably will, but it's nothing like already being there and having an opportunity to win it as opposed to having to go through another long off season, that grueling season schedule and grind, and then getting back into it. And so if I'm these two guys, I definitely need some kind of answers from the top down.
You deserve it. Yep, I agree.
I agree. I can see them being upset. But let me ask you this. Had they won the game and Malcolm Butler not play, would we have heard anything?
I don't think it would be as big of a story, but I still think they want their teammate and their brother out there with them. I don't know Tom Brady and Malcolm Butler's relationship, but I heard a great story after he won it for him. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
49. Yeah.
Okay.
And he gave him the truck.
Yes. And
but you know how Malcolm Butler got in the game, right? They had to bench Kyle Arrington, who had been their teammate for 6 years. But nobody was upset about that because the results were in their favor. See, you got to be careful when everything is results-based. Coach Belichick has done this so many times. He released Lawyer Malloy on a Tuesday before they were played that Sunday, and he never offered an explanation. Normally, his explanation, I play and I do what I think is best for the team. And I believe that's the explanation that he'll always give. Coach Belichick strikes me as an old school mom and dad, and you'll know what I'm talking about. They don't reason with a child. They tell you to do something, you don't ask them why I'm doing it, you just go do it. Coach Belichick does something, and they don't normally ask why, but because this results didn't end the way they liked it, now they want to question. When he's done so many things over the course of his tenure being head coach that has worked out, and that's how it goes, Skip. I believe this is the only one time that Mr. Kraft has told Coach Belichick to do something. One time, that's the problem. The one time Coach Belichick, something that he's done didn't work out, now we have a problem. That's what this is about. I believe Gronk is more about money, and this is kind of that list thing is a little tag-along, just a little extra. I believe Tom Brady is about Guerrero and Coach Belichick wanting Garoppolo and not him to ride into the sunset with. This is an add-on. But are they still upset? Absolutely, because they chronicle Super Bowls. And Super Bowl 52 loser is the New England Patriots.
So I'm going to date myself here a little bit to tell all of you that the first Super Bowl I covered goes all the way back to Super Bowl 10. It was the first Dallas-Pittsburgh Super Bowl, way before your time, way before your time.
Was that in Tulane Stadium?
No, it was in the Orange Bowl.
Orange Bowl, okay.
And I was working at the Miami Herald right out of Vanderbilt, and I covered that game that day. It was actually a cold day in Miami, but that's how far back I go covering Super Bowls. And in all my years, I've never heard or seen anything like this story. And I still say it's underreported and underpublicized, and that Bill Belichick is getting away with it, getting a pass for it, because he, like Tom Brady, has 5 Super Bowl rings. And some people regard him, not this guy, but some people regard him as the greatest coach ever. But there would be other coaches who coached one-time Super Bowls that if they'd pulled a stunt like this, people would have been asking point spread questions. Like, is there a little funny business here with the spread on the game?
Kind of like they asked Pete Carroll, why would he throw?
Yeah, well, you could. But that's a whole different, that wasn't about the point spread.
Right.
But the point here is, I still can't figure it out. Obviously, Brady and Gronk cannot figure it out. Danny Amendola, who went to Miami and the Dolphins, cannot figure it out because he spoke out about it about a week ago, and he said, I asked for an explanation, and I got none. Now, you asked the question earlier in the show. Did he ask Belichick? I don't know.
Yeah.
Did he talk to Belichick before he took the deal to go to Miami? Maybe. Maybe. But I think they're all looking for an explanation, and I think they deserve one. And I think the morale, the unity, the camaraderie in the locker room is hinging on some sort of explanation, because you got to put this behind you, because now it's just festering. Because I'm sure wherever Tom Brady is on whatever camel he's riding right now, that he still thinks it's just stuck in his craw.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that about? Because the offense hangs 33 on a pretty good Philly defense, and Bill Belichick's defense allowed 41 to Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Because Malcolm Butler, not all, but in large part because Malcolm Butler, to your point, is standing over. You said they would have won the game. Remember, at halftime, they had to go to their dime package. So they go all the way to 6 DBs. And Malcolm Butler, who was soon to get $61 million from the Tennessee Titans, is still not in the game. You're playing 6 DBs?
Yeah, and you got to think that 6 DB probably has never played.
Has never,
you know?
not in any game of note.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he's purely a special teams guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
right.
I mean, it totally blows my mind. But it's part of that New England system. You know, like you said, it's part of not asking any questions, doing what you're told. Today's athlete doesn't work like that, and that's kind of the disconnect. Today's athlete wants to know why. I've sat in many rooms where back in the day, coach tell you to do something, you do it, point blank, period. Now it's a discussion. You know, it's a back and forth. I told
you might have been one of the forefront of the guys who wanted to know why, right?
I was kind of on that edge.
Yeah.
I was kind of on that edge. Absolutely. I was probably that last generation. But I wanted to know why, because it helped me understand.
Right.
It just helped me kind of just lock it in and really remember it, as opposed to feeling like I'm just, you know, trying to just play a memorization game. You know, I always wanted to know why. All right, is this safety coming over here? All right, you want me to do it like this? All right, cool. Because if I knew why, then it was just easier for me to understand it and comprehend.
It needs to make sense.
Yeah, it needs
Sometimes
to make
you
sense.
see things on paper like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because I think I'd be better served if I ran the out route instead of the hook. I think I can get him to chase me, but that's neither here nor there. But, Skip, here's the thing. Now, they say winning cures all.
Yeah.
What team has won more than the Patriots in the last 20 years? No one in the history of the game.
No.
So you mean to tell me that winning does not cure it all? They win Super Bowls, they win regular season games, they win AFC Championship. It just goes to show you. Everybody's like, I want to win. Everybody can't play for the Patriots, Skip. That system is not for everybody. Coach Belichick runs it authoritatively. And you do not ask questions. When he tells you to go out there and play this defense and this coverage, don't you ask him why. If he says we're practicing in 12 inches of snow, don't you ask him why. Because if you ask him why, he's going to get you up out of there.
That's true.
So when you go to New England, you check whatever it is you got, your ego, your bravado, your self-worth, you check that at the door and you come in as a blank slate. Because if you are not, you won't last long up in there. And you see now it's starting to become a problem because guys are like, hold on. I think we can still win and have a little bit. The way we do it, I think we can do it a better way and still get the same results.
Yeah, I think that was totally, that was definitely the old school New England way. They talked about Tom and Gronk not being there. New England was one of the godfathers when it came to requiring you to be there in the offseason. No one required you to be there and train.
And who
New
set
England
the tone
started
for
it.
that?
Belichick and them started it.
When Tom
and
shows
then
up,
everybody else had to do it.
That's
And so
correct.
now it's like when a guy like Tom Brady starts to kind of shy away and wants to do his own thing, will the rest of the guys follow? You know, that's what's going.
First time ever in the history of this dynasty, there is doubt in that locker room about that head coach.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's he doing? Was he trying to sabotage us because the owner overruled him on Jimmy Garoppolo and forced him to trade Jimmy G?
I agree, Skip. I agree that this is the first time they have doubts about Coach Belichick.
Yeah.
Up until this point, if he told them they need to swim the English Channel in order for them to win,
They were gonna jump in that
they
water.
jump right. But now after
questions
this,
asked. Yeah.
like, I don't know, Coach.
Well, I'm
Coach,
gonna
there's
ask
a boat right there. We can't get on that boat. Now
they want to get on the boat.
Yeah.
All I want to know is, does the owner have any new doubts about the head coach? That's what I want to know, because he's the only one who could actually do something about it.
We've heard more about them in the last 3 months coming out, the little bickering, than we had in the previous 18 years.
That is a fact. You can add it up. The whole 18 years wouldn't add up to what we've heard in 3 months.
Nothing.
Yep.
Tom Brady's been the model. We've never heard Tom that there might be some ruckus between. But now anything that takes a shot at Coach Belichick, he'll like it. And he'll like it 6 times. That ain't no coincidence because he said, I should have them 6 Lombardi. So he heart.
Well, I mean, these guys do have a new trainer that Tom's very attached to, that Belichick is very out on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that might have something to do with it, too.
They don't come, you ain't coming up in here.
I still say Belichick, Brady will not last together. The owner's going to have to make a choice.
Before the season, or this is the last year of it?
I might give it one more year, but I'm starting to doubt that.
Ooh, it's late in the game for that to be happening right now.
Well, thanks for joining us, D'Angelo. D'Angelo will be back tomorrow.
No mercy.
The Spurs stayed alive yesterday with a 103-90 win over the Warriors. Manu Ginobili was huge off the bench, scoring 16 points, including 10 late in the fourth quarter, to lead the Spurs to the win. After the game, Steve Kerr was asked about Ginobili's performance. Let's take a listen.
I was going to ask you if you wanted to see the birth certificate for Manu to prove he's not really 21. So he can play forever, can he?
I know he's old because he was my teammate, and I'm old as dirt. And so if I played with him, he must be old.
Skip, what was your takeaway from yesterday's game?
This time, Joy, I'm going to dare my man Shannon Sharp across the table to scoff at, to ridicule, to make fun of, to disrespect my man Manu Ginobili. Sometimes when you're watching sports, you just lose sight, forest for trees. And yesterday when that game ended, I sat back and I said, what a privilege it is to have watched this man, the sustained greatness that he's still on full display at age 40 against the defending champs in a closeout game at home, and he did it again. You want to talk about clutch guts? No one has ever done at 40-plus what Manu Ginobili continues to do in the playoffs, because nobody ever had a double-digit scoring game off the bench. Now he has 2 of them. I kept telling you all year long he was the closer for this year's San Antonio Spurs. There is no way they would have made the playoffs without this man going Brady-esque at age 40. He should have been the 6th man of the year because he played only 20 minutes a game, and all the other candidates were 30-plus minutes a game.
That's all he can play because he's 40, Skip. He can't play 30 minutes a night at 40.
But most of those 20 minutes a night were in the fourth quarter when he took over game after home game after home game. Didn't do it on the road as much, but at home, they were just 1 game shy of Toronto and Houston for the best home record in all of basketball. And obviously, they went all but 9 games without their best player, Kawhi Leonard. And wasn't it something yesterday to watch Steph Curry, injured, bouncing off the bench in every timeout to congratulate, high five, back slap.
New York.
Huh? I don't know where Kawhi was. He was nowhere to be seen.
The icing his quad.
So it's just about Ginobili's guts, and he carried that team yesterday, those overachievers, past a team featuring the best player on the planet, Kevin Durant.
Really?
He did it again.
Really?
He just was destroying the Spurs. There's nothing like it.
Well, what happened?
I've never seen anything like it. Look, there he is, 7 feet tall.
7 foot tall, and he's special. He's dynamic. As good a player that we've seen in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
But what happened when Klay Thompson wasn't giving you 30? Because you do know that when he scored 31, Klay Thompson had 34. When he scored 33, Klay Thompson had 30. So when Klay Thompson looked more like Tristan Thompson shooting the ball, all of a sudden they get beat by 13.
The Spurs do play pretty good defense.
Yeah, but anyway, let me get to your man Manu. Skip, you need to stop playing. See,
stop playing?
Yes, because
this is rare. This is special.
When you take this is what we see with Dwayne Wade syndrome. Dwayne Wade had that great game, too, and you say, see, I told you, LeBron's going to miss him. Blah, 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 blah.
He had a great game 4. You must have missed it. I don't think Joy missed it. Did you see the fourth quarter of Game 4 on Saturday?
Did you see O'Roy?
Dwayne Wade?
Did you see O'Roy? Did you see what Roy did in the fourth quarter? But let me talk. Can I finish about your man, Manu? Now, in the regular season, Manu had 2 games. 2 games in which he scored 20 points. Lou Williams had 38 such games coming off the bench. Coming off the bench, Skip Bayless. Lou Williams is the first guy in over 30 years to lead his team in scoring and assists as a bench player.
He played 33 minutes a game. 33 minutes. Are those not starter minutes?
I'm just telling you.
So you let the ball be tipped, and then you say, timeout.
No,
Who's coming in?
The rules, the way the NBA sets it up, in order for you to be eligible to win Sixth Man of the Year, you must come off the bench more than you start. He came off the bench 60 times, Skip Bayless.
Help me out. Did the Clippers make the playoffs?
No.
Did the Spurs make the playoffs? Yes.
Really, Skip?
And it was because of that guy and only that guy.
Really?
You have no idea. I watched every dribble of every game.
Hold up.
He closed again and again.
If you don't mind me asking, did the Clippers have an all-star? Because if I didn't know, I could have sworn the Spurs had an all-star. Did LaMarcus Aldridge make the all-star team? You do know. Stop it, Skip. Why you sitting up and shaking your head like you don't know?
The one all-star's up in New York.
No.
Getting treated.
Oh, so are you trying to say LaMarcus Aldridge is not an all-star?
I'm not the biggest fan, but go ahead.
That's not what I asked. Is he an all-star? A simple no or a simple yes?
He's had a pretty good year.
Skip Bayless, you ought to be shit. Will you stop dodging the question?
The Sixth Man of the Year is Manu Ginobili.
No, he's not.
Oh, please.
And Manu can skip. Okay, this is his one game. He can summons this type of performance up for one game. Yeah, okay. Let's see what he do. Let's see what he does tomorrow night. Do they play tomorrow night, Joy, or they play Wednesday? Let's see what he does in the next game.
I think they play tomorrow night.
Let's see what he does in the next game, and then we'll have this conversation. We'll have this conversation again, and we'll see what Manu does.
They would have won both games in San Antonio, but God bless Pop and losing his wife. That was a big issue and a big distraction, obviously, and took sort of the heart out of the team when Pop lost his wife. And they lost game 3 at home when I thought they would have won. They're a really good home team.
Skip, be glad you didn't get swept.
They play tomorrow.
Steve Kerr didn't want to sweep you. I mean, he called the dogs off because, of the Pop situation. We know his fondness for Pop. But he would have swept you. Any other coach would have swept you because they don't know Pop like Steve Kerr knows Pop. But anyway, with that withstanding, you're going home tomorrow.
When Ginobili put the final nail in the coffin from the corner, three-point shot right in front of the Golden State bench, Steve Kerr said after the game, I couldn't help but smile. He's been doing it for so long, and he's still doing it. And Steve Kerr said he should play 2 more years, and I concur. He should play 2 more years.
If you're going to score 8 points, I mean, Lou Williams averaging 22, he averaging 8. I can give you 3.
Yeah.
I give you 3 points right now, just mop-up duty. So stop playing. You know good and well Manu does not deserve to be no Sixth Man of the Year. No, he does not.
For a playoff team.
He had 2 games of 20-plus points.
Don't bring me Eric Gordon either.
Eric Gordon
playing with James Harden and CP3 and Capella.
Hold on.
That's like 3 All-Stars.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You didn't have that problem when he was playing with Tim Duncan, Manu, and Tony Parker. You didn't have no problem with him winning Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah, well, he deserved it. Huh?
Now he deserved it. So if he plays with the greatest power forward to ever live.
In that case, you took an all-star and a gold medal winner for Argentina, and you said, will you come off the bench? And he said, yeah, I'll do that. And every time he came off the bench, he just completely changed the flow of the game, and he's still doing it at age 40. I've never seen anything like it. You should sit back and savor this. You should appreciate greatness. Greatness recognizes greatness, but in your case, you can't.
I posted.
You need new glasses.
Joy, you saw my glasses. Joy, you saw my IG. Yeah. My little baby, my little 5-pound Pomeranian was snoring. Yeah. Snoring. He never snores watching the Spurs play.
Why do you put your life up on Instagram? Nobody cares.
Yeah, they do.
Nobody
to
cares
see my
what
alligator.
you
I got
eat.
an alligator blanket.
Why don't you put everything you eat on Instagram?
Oh, you don't. Joy eat all of these right here, though.
Yeah, well, you don't put those up, do you?
I don't eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
At night.
I had. Well, let me tell you what I had for brunch. I had some old cornflake or French toast yesterday.
Oh, that's
that old cornflake French toast.
Not good for you.
I tell you what, it was good to me.
Yeah.
You talk about all that good for you. I want something that's good to me sometime too, Skip. But hey, don't worry about this right here, Skip. This is up over here. Ooh, this thing coming
up for 50.
Ooh, Joy. Built like an Aztec god.
We'll see.
You know who's been good to me for about 20 years? Manu Ginobili.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Whatever.
Manu. I appreciate
Skip,
it.
my waist.
I do.
Skip.
Huh?
Waist disappearing like a Clinton email.
I've got a 30-inch waist.
I got a 30.
I got 7 inches.
Skip, you weigh 132.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back again tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.